C'est présente Français Made Easy, une capsule de 1 à 5 minutes. Trucs et astuces. Aujourd'hui, reflexive et pronominal verbs. They refer to oneself or there is a reciprocity between people. To oneself, example, je me lave. Me means myself. I wash myself. Elle se parle. Se means to herself. She's talking to herself. Not reflexive when you say je lave le bébé. Here you're not washing yourself, you're washing the baby, so it's not a reflexive verb. Elle parle à Paul. Here she's not talking to herself this time, no, she's talking to Paul. So it's not a reflexive verb. When there is a relation between two people, we are going to use a pronominal verbs. For instance, example, ils s'aiment. It means that there is a reciprocity between people. They love each other. So we are going to use also the form se plus the verb. Nous parlons, we are talking to each other. Again, we are not talking to one person, we are talking between ourselves, each other. There is a reciprocity. For that reason, we are going to use a reflexive verb. Each subject is followed by a reflexive pronoun. So I will say for the verb laver, se laver, which is a reflexive verb, se laver, I will say je me lave, I lave myself. Tu te laves, you wash yourself. Il, elle ou on se lave, which means he is washing himself, she is washing herself, one is washing oneself. This is the pronoun se. And the verb again is se laver. Se laver. It is not laver, but se laver. Why? Because it's using a pronoun, and the pronouns are the ones that are capitalized. Je me, tu te, il, elle ou se lave. Then you have nous lavons. So the second nous that seems a bit weird means ourselves. So we are washing ourselves. And if you ask an interrogative question, it will be something funny like nous lavons-nous, which is are we washing ourselves? The vous is for we are washing. You are washing yourself. And if they are washing themselves, or they being female, I could also add, you will say they are washing themselves. So they could be a plural of men or a plural of female. Now, there's a difference meaning whether a verb will be reflexive or non-reflexive, and it's very important. For instance, s'arrêter means to stop oneself. I stop talking, je m'arrête de parler. But if the verb is not reflexive, the meaning will be totally different. Example, arrêter, non-reflexive here, there's no the se, no se, means to arrest. So you would say the police officer arrests the burglar. L'agent de police arrête le cambrioleur. Il n'y a pas de reflexive, de verb reflexive, otherwise it will mean that the police officer will be arresting himself. So not in our context. S'occuper means to look after. So you would say, she looks after the baby. Elle s'occupe du bébé. In other way, you could imagine like being very occupied, being into herself in order to look after the baby. But if you use the verb in a non-reflexive form, it will be occupé. And occupé means to hold a position. For instance, I hold an important position. J'occupe un poste important. Again, the meaning is very different, whether it's a reflexive or a non-reflexive verb. By the way, to be busy means être occupé. Sometimes we can confuse verbs like to rest, which means se reposer, and to stay, which means rester. Another little truc et astuce, if you like, when you get a verb to get bored, when there is the get in the verb, you can maybe sometime can be translated by a reflexive verb. Let's take the S out of the way here. So for instance, you will say to get bored, s'ennuyer, to get sleepy, s'endormir, to get dressed, s'habiller. À bientôt!